The secret to self-control. This finding contradicted the prevailing view at the time, which considered the heroin addiction to be a permanent and irreversible condition. Instead, Robinson revealed that addictions could spontaneously dissolve if there wasn't a radical change in the environment. In Vietnam, soldiers spent all day surrounded by a queue to trigger heroin use. It was easy to access. They were engulfed by the constant stress of war. They built friendships with fellow soldiers who were also heroin users, and they were thousands of miles from home. Once a soldier returned to the United States, though, he found himself in an environment devoid of those triggers. When the context changed, so did the habit. The Vietnam studies ran counter to many of the cultural beliefs about bad habits because it is challenged. The Commission associated unhealthy behavior as a moral weakness. If you are overweight, a smoker, or addict, you've been told your entire life that it is because you lack of self-control. Maybe even that you're a bad person. The idea that a little bit of discipline will solve all our problems is deeply embedded in our culture. Recent research, however, shows something different. When scientists analyze people who appear to be tremendous self-control, it turns out those individuals aren't all that different from those who are struggling. Instead, disciplined people are better at structuring their lives in a way that does not require heroic willpower and self-control. In other words, they spend less time in tempting situations. The people with the best self-control are typically the ones who needed to use it the least. It's easier to practice self-restraint when you don't have to use it very often. So, yes, perseverance, grit, and willpower is essential to success. But the way to improve these qualities is not by wishing you are a more disciplined person, but by creating a more disciplined environment. The cues were still internalized. She just hadn't been exposed to them in a long time. Once a habit has been encoded, the urge to act follows whenever the environmental cues reappear. That habits are in an auto-catalytic. The processing phase itself. An external trigger cues in a compulsive craving to repeat a bad habit. Here's then a punchline. You can break a habit, but you're unlikely to forget it. Once the mental grooves of the habit have been created into your brain, they are nearly impossible to remove entirely. Even if they go unused for quite a while, when that means simply resisting temptation is an ineffective strategy. It is hard to maintain insanity in a life filled with interruptions. It takes too much energy. In the short run, you can choose an overpower temptation. In the long run, we become a product of environment that we live in. To put it bluntly, I have never seen someone consistently stick to positive habits in a negative environment. A more reliable approach is to cut bad habits off at the source. One of the most practical ways to eliminate a bad habit and reduce exposure to the cue that causes it. This is practicing the inversion of the first law of behavior change, rather than make it obvious. You can make it invisible. I'm often surprised by how effective simple changes like this can be. Remove a single cue and entire habit often fades away. Make the cues of your good habits obvious and the cues of your bad habits invincible. The inversion of the first law of behavior changes make it invisible. Once a habit is formed, it is unlikely to be forgotten. People with high self-control tend to spend less time in tempting situations. It's easier to avoid any temptation than resist it. One of the most practical ways to eliminate a bad habit is to reduce exposure to the cue that causes it. Self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one.